Hello everybody, this is George from the No One Likes Us Talking team, wishing you a Merry Christmas. I hope you have a smashing time everybody with your loved ones and enjoy it as much as possible. I hope you carry on listening to us in the new year and you have a safe and prosperous new year yourselves. Hope to be speaking to some of you very soon and I hope you carry on listening. Good luck everybody.
I'm Libby Stubbs.
And I'm Millie Connell.
And we both play for the Millwall Lionesses and are sponsored by the No One Likes Us Talking team.
Why not sponsor one of our teammates just like they do?
To find out how, just email commercial@millwall-lionesses.com. I'll say that again. Just email commercial@millwall-lionesses.com.
That is all you have to do and it will help us to get back to where we belong.
Now enjoy our Millwall fan show from the No One Likes Us Talking team.
Bethany Warren here, and you've joined us for the weekly Our Millwall fan show with the Millwall No One Likes Us Talking team, which is broadcast every Friday evening. Enjoy!
Welcome to the 2021-22 series of No One Likes Us Talking, Our Millwall fan show, the 20th show in our new freedom post-lockdown at the moment. I'm your host Gary Staff, and with me I have the No One Likes Us Talking team of Dave Hart, Ted Robinson and Patricia Maslin.
Not everybody likes them, but they don't care.
So, COVID struck the Lions camp and we didn't play against Preston at the Den as the game was postponed. And yesterday we found out the Swansea game went the same way. Also, grave news came from Millwall CEO Steve Kavanagh as he claimed an Armageddon would face championship clubs if forced to play behind closed doors. At the same time, it has been stated that the club recorded a 13 million loss for last season. I'll start with you on that one, Ted. What's your thoughts?
My thoughts are it's a lot of money, mate.
It is, isn't it?
But not surprising, I suppose, with all that have gone on with COVID. The annoying part about it is I thought we was over it and all of a sudden along comes Omicron and we seem to be back where we was a year ago, if you know what I mean. Although games were allowed to go ahead this festive season, it looks like we'll be lucky if we get one in. Because I wouldn't be at all surprised if the commentary game gets called off. But I've read Steve Kavanagh's comments about it and I understand what he's saying. The Championship's a strange league in the sense that it's within touching distance of the Premier. But then down in League One, as we all know, it's not but it's that in-between one, and nobody seems to care too much about the Championship. Everyone worries about League One and League Two sides if money goes down and, they need looking after. The Championship side, everyone's expecting them to be okay because they're in the Championship. Well, we all know that's not strictly true in comparison to, obviously, the Premier League. So, it's difficult times. Hopefully we get through it. And I generally feel this. I don't think it's doing Millwall any favours whatsoever financially. I don't think it's doing us any favours whatsoever on the pitch because I do believe with our squad the way it is, if we're all in normal times, it struggles a bit with 2 games a week. We always seem to be better with just one. So not good times, and I don't like sounding a bit down about things and that, but because I'm normally the most optimistic person around, as you know. So let's just get through all this and get back to playing games. And we've still got, we're still in amongst it, mate. So hopefully the things I'm talking about here don't manifest any much more than they are. And we will get back into games. And, of course, there's always the bright light of Palace on the horizon. So there's something to look forward to anyway.
And please, God...
Please, God willing, yeah.
God willing. I do agree with you on that one, though, Ted. We are a little bit like the poor relations sometimes, aren't we compared to the Premier League? Because even the first and second division got a bit of sponsorship last year, and we didn't get anything. It's just like we have to sort ourselves out. They're all right, you know what I mean? They've got their own money. It's weird.
The Championship is we all know the Championship is in touching distance of the riches of the Premier League. That's the point. But you can still be poor within that championship.
Oh, I know.
You know what I mean? We're still not got the money, and people just seem to think that. And the obvious, I'm stating the obvious here. There are clubs that have come down from the Premiership that have still got the money that the Premiership have given them, if you know what I mean. So it's a funny old. Yeah, I think we're all in agreement on that. But that makes the Championship a funny old mixed bag. And what nobody could predict, it was hard enough for us as a club trying to battle that under normal circumstances, but throwing COVID and taking away the fans from the games like last year we did, there you go, we finish up with £13 million in debt as such. So it's not good for Millwall in that respect, but we're very fortunate to have a chairman that cares and saying that,
Ted, as well, I've got a chairman who cares, and maybe that £13 million loss will, for want of a better way of saying it, shut up a few of our so-called wokey fans saying, "Oh, we got to go and do this, we got to go and do that, we got to spend millions here, we got to spend millions there." Well, hold on a minute, he's spending 13 million keeping us afloat. You know what I mean? So it's that's
the harsh reality, girl. That's the harsh reality of it all, and it's taken maybe this COVID thing and for it to come out like that, give every Millwall fan a little bit of an understanding of what the club's been doing year in, year out.
Exactly. What do you think, Pat?
Well, I think you've probably both summed it up and said everything that needs saying. I mean, the only thing you can say is safety first. I mean, if it means we've got to play behind closed doors, that's what we have to do for everyone's safety. £13 million, I should think half the teams in our league are probably losing close to that as well. We're in not much of a different place from most of the others there. It's a shame. We all want our football back. Players have got a nice break. I suppose that's one positive on the horizon for them. But yeah, I think Ted very much summed it up. It's what it is. I think Palace will be called off as well. I can see this lasting a bit longer.
Shame, you hear in the last couple of days, Pat, that he's saying it's milder and blah, 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 and we don't need to panic. And that's the only hope that I can see on the horizon at the moment.
But it's much more... it
spreads quicker.
It spreads quicker. I can't think of the word then. So as soon as the word COVID comes up, even though it's probably not as bad, everyone goes into isolation. So, is what it is.
Everyone thinks that's the only solution to a certain extent, Pat, don't they? Or the best solution, whatever way you want to call it.
The solution is for people to get vaccine.
Of course.
Are we all triple jabbed on here?
Yes, yeah.
Booster as well.
Yeah. I was just saying to Aimer just quickly on the vaccines, because I don't know who's listening to this, but I would say to anyone that's listening that hasn't been vaccinated, get out there quick and get vaccinated, because I caught COVID 2 weeks ago after my booster, funny enough, and all I can tell anyone from my personal experience, if it wasn't for them jabs that I had, I would have been in hospital because I was that ill. And if it dumbs down the effects of what you've got, the next level to me was hospital. So I'm thankful for the vaccinations that I had. You can't tell people to have it, but I don't understand any reason why not to have it. And nobody's given me a good reason why not to have it. So, as Pat said, vaccinations is a way out of it.
But they're saying the Premier League now, there's a lot more players coming forward. There's about 84% now in the vaccination group. Even though they've had their first, it still helps. And I think that's a good thing. If the footballers can do it and prove to the fans that they're doing it, it can only be a good thing.
No, exactly. Like you're saying, Ted, about the booster. I had the booster on, I think it was Wednesday or Thursday last week, and I called it 2 days ago. I mean, it's the thing, I don't know. But
I had it on the Monday afternoon, and my worst day was the Tuesday. I was really, really ill. But I mean, look, without sort of getting to it, because it gets a bit touchy. I've got one or two mates of mine that won't have it, but they don't give me a good reason why they don't have it. They just say they don't want it. And my daughter's best friend is a ICU nurse, at Queen Elizabeth in Woolwich, and she tells me that she's gone right the way through the pandemic, like treating people, and now she's got to the situation now where the majority of people in there are people that haven't been vaccinated, and they're coming in to hospital asking for the vaccination, and she's saying it was too late, and it is the majority of people now are the people that are unvaccinated that are the most vulnerable to it. So, as I say, if someone could give me a very good reason, and I haven't heard one, why they don't have it. I know it's everybody's personal choice, but sometimes I can't fathom these things out because my brain's always a little bit logical. If not, I know some people might think that's strange, but that's how my brain works. But if you're going to be given something, I said to someone the other day who won't. I said, "What do you do when you get a headache?" He said, "Well, what do you mean?" I said, well, "What do you do?" He said, "Well, I take a tablet to get rid of it." I said, "Well, your tablet is this vaccination to try and stop you from getting as ill as you would do there." And he went, "Well, yeah. But sometimes." Sometimes I just wonder where people were going with it, but that's the way out of it, I think. But hopefully we get out of this one a bit quicker than the last one, anyway.
Yeah,
Dave, just your thoughts quickly before we move on.
Well, I think everyone's covered everything at the moment. The debt, 81 million in 11 years. Going back, average is just over 7 million a year. I can remember we were averaging about 6 million a year debt when we were in League One. So, you're not much more, but when you add it all up, it's increasing. 13 million in the last year caps it, doesn't it? And when you have things like, you need people setting examples with footballers to the supporters. Mr. Klopp at Liverpool, he said he won't have a player in the squad or in his club that's not been vaccinated. I thought that was a good thing to come out.
I agree.
Yeah.
So I think this give an example to people, because I think a lot of it is just a bit of ignorance and doubt. When vaccinations first coming out, like with tuberculosis, for instance, people didn't question it then because, number one, they didn't have the internet with people spreading rumours.
Exactly, Dave.
Everyone just went out and had it done. So, anyway, we'll see. We'll get through it.
We'll see. Right, guys, let's take a break there and listen to Harvey Brown's homeless appeal with Debbie Julians.
Hi, Debbie here. Harvey Brown is a wonderful person with a heart of gold, never ceases to amaze, and wants to help the homeless by collecting blankets, sleeping bags, hats and scarves, and anything that keeps people warm who are on the streets.
I see so many people around London sleeping in doorways, railway arches and under open stairs. It is very sad, and the temperatures are dropping now, and I don't want people to suffer. Please help them if you can by contacting my mum or dad on Facebook or ringing 07949 285 683 to arrange drop-off or collection. We are looking for donations of blankets, sleeping bags, hats, scarves, etc. Whatever you give will make someone warmer this winter. Thank you.
Ah, Harvey, how thoughtful. As Harvey says, contact his mum and dad, Vicky or Dean Brown, on their Facebook page. There is also a Keep Harvey Happy group on Facebook too, or alternatively phone 079 49 285 683. I'll repeat that, 079 49 285 683 to organise drop-off or collection. No matter what you donate, it will make a difference.
Hi, this is Stan Godwin. I would like to take this opportunity to wish all our listeners and all Millwall supporters and their families a very Merry Christmas.
I'm Gary Staff, and with me I have the No One Likes a Talking team of Dave Hart, Ted Robinson and Patricia Maslin. Our first guest hails from the City of Steel, Sheffield, and it was with Sheffield United and Totley Youth where he developed his talent as a young player and a forward. He then made a number of appearances with a number of non-league clubs, from Mansfield to FC Halifax, where he featured alongside the infamous Jamie Vardy. Season upon season saw his goal-scoring achievements improve, and Millwall came in amongst a number of other clubs to obtain his signature. Thankfully, in June 2014, he signed for Millwall for a fee believed to be around the region of about $250,000. At Millwall, he had made a total of 238 appearances and scored 77 goals over 5 seasons before leaving the Den to return back to the north. He subsequently went on to play for Stoke on loan with Derby, and as of the beginning of this season, he's almost back where it all started, but this time with the blue side of the town, Sheffield Wednesday. Let's say a big hello to a legend in my lifetime, Lee Gregory. Welcome, Lee.
Cheers, guys. Thank you. You all right?
Yeah, I'm good. Before I let you off with the panel, before they start attacking you and questioning you all over the place.
Yeah, attacking
him. We've had a number of former young Lions talk with us who never managed to establish themselves in the Millwall first team. They left and applied themselves in non-league and lower league football. Your journey back from Sheffield United and youth system to playing for us in the Football League was a long journey. How did you keep focused during that time, Lee, and get yourself back into English football?
Do you know, it wasn't really the focus. I think I just went back to actually enjoying football. There were a few years in between getting released from Sheffield United to sign at Millwall where I didn't even like football. I was just playing just for playing. And then I started back playing with like some close friends and stuff, and it just started escalating from there. I started really enjoying football, and then funny enough, I had a little trial with Alfreton Town. I don't know if you know the manager there. It's Nicky Lowe. He's the old manager. He was a Chester.
Yeah.
And he actually just said to me, he says, you're good enough to play non-league, and if you basically do well enough, you can earn a good career out of just playing non-league and working and stuff. So I think that was my focus from like 19 years old then, thinking, do you know what, if I can maybe pay a mortgage off or whatever, a car. So that was it. I was just basically just trying to earn a little bit of money and enjoy it mostly. Just enjoy it. And I think that's basically where it all kicked off for me.
Excellent.
Hello, Lee. Dave here.
Hey, mate.
So you go from scoring goals playing for FC Halifax Town, and then you come down to London to join Millwall. How did that all come about? And what were your first impressions when you arrived in Bermondsey and saw the infamous Den?
Do you want my honest opinion?
Yes, please.
Sorry for my language, but I shit my pants.
Must be.
So at that time, there was a few clubs coming up. It was like Crawley and a few lower league teams, and then in Holloway rung me up and he was like, "I'd like you to come down, have a look at the ground and stuff." And so I thought, obviously, the Championship's a bigger step for me. Jumped on the train, got to the ground. I was like, wow. And obviously, when you're speaking to people about Millwall from the outside in, it's like, oh, Millwall, this Millwall, that Millwall, infamous Millwall, all this trouble and all this stuff. And so initially, in my head, I was like, oh, wow, I'm coming down to this. And then as soon as I got into the ground, I was like, wow, yeah, I like. And Ian Holloway was obviously he's nuts, absolutely nuts, and he was just saying how he really wanted me there, and he was like, I'm showing you around, but I want you to sign today. And I was like, well, I've come here to sign. I'm not coming to look around, to be honest. So as soon as I walked through the door, I was like, I actually want to be here. It felt like, went to other clubs. I think I went to MK Dons, and I walked through the door there and I was not really feeling it and stuff. But the moment I went to Millwall, I was like, yeah, I like this. I want this. And thankfully it paid off.
Yeah, all good stuff.
Evening, Lee. It's Ted here, mate.
Evening.
I'll tell you what, Lee, to me, you haven't left our club, and I'll tell you the reason why, because Claire, who comes along to the games with me, she fell madly in love with you, and she still shouts out, come on, Lee, now, and I keep telling you, you're gone, you're not there, but just say hello to her for me, mate, she'll love it.
Oh, is it Claire?
Claire, yeah.
Hi, Claire. Hope you're all right. Hope you can you shout my name earlier, please.
Oh my God. You don't know what you've done now. But thank you very much, mate.
No problem.
But obviously you're back up north now, but let's talk about down here. Can you tell us about your experience with the two managers? I mean, we all know Ian Holloway was crazy, but what about Neil?
Yeah, well, Chops, to be honest, obviously he was the 23s manager, and he always used to take us in like finishing drills and stuff. So he's always been in and around the place when I was there. So I always really got on with him. And then obviously when Neil Holloway got sacked, he come in, he was like, just taking over for now. And then he got the job and he was like, listen, you're my number one striker. I don't care if you play crap for 5 games, 6 games, 7 games. You're my number one striker and you're going to play every week. And that just kind of like, just put confidence in me that he actually wanted me. And it felt right. And I think the way he wanted to play, he just made it so simple for us to play.
You do know he said the same thing to Steve Morrison, though, didn't you?
Yeah. He's not daft, is he? No. But he just made everything so simple for everyone to play, and it kind of clicked. I think he had the last 10 games, and I think if he'd have had longer, we'd have probably stayed up that year.
Yeah.
I do too.
Yeah, he'd been a player that played in the position that you played in, Lee. I'm sure he passed on quite a few tips to you.
Yeah, no, he did. He did. Obviously, criticised me a lot as well, saying, "No, he was great for me." I still chat to him now and again. So it's what a nice guy he was. What a nice guy.
Yeah.
Can't say enough good things about him.
I think we all agree with you there.
Yeah.
Hello, Lee. It's Pat. It's lovely to hear your voice again. I understand what Ted says. I don't think you've left. You're still at the club, you know.
Oh, it's nice to know.
It's ingrained, I think.
I loved it down there. I absolutely loved it. I still speak to some players now. Still speak to the players now. I speak to the kit man. So I'm no Jack and I know what Adrian's gone through as well. So I speak to them quite a bit. So
it's lovely.
Yeah, it's nice to keep in touch with some people down there.
Yeah. That first season, you scored your first goal for us, late September, 3-1 defeat, Birmingham at home.
Yeah.
How was that for you, coming from the Conference Premier to the Championship and scoring and the crowd?
Oh, that was massive. I've actually still got the shirt on my wall. This is right behind where I'm sat now. Yes, meant so much to me. It was probably like, I think my friends were there. It was the first game my friends came to as well. So I was like, right, you're going to have to come to every game now, unfortunately. No, it's obviously disregarding the result, but for me, it was special.
Yeah. Brilliant. And wasn't it actually Holloway's wife who suggested he buy you, not him?
Yeah. So he told me the story. He was like, sat at home and he was looking for a striker, and my name come across, and he said his wife was just sat there going, "Why don't you go for someone like him?" And he was like, "Oh no, he's obviously not done it in the league." And she's like, "Well, you want someone who's hungry and this and that." And he's mad about his wife and he's mad about his family. Obviously, talks about him a hell of a lot, and I think he just put all his trust in her. And
I think we should do her at the club.
I've got her to thank, not Ian.
You seem to be able to impress the ladies, Lee.
That's all I like that.
Can we employ Ian Holloway's wife as our new?
I'm exactly the same.
Yeah. She's not here now. She like awesome.
Dear. Lee, before Lee asks the question, I was going to ask, it's not in our questions we were going to ask you, but has anyone brought up about the Sheffield United, Sheffield Wednesday connection up there?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Really? Yeah. All the time. Because I've got Sheffield Wednesday fans who literally won't even utter the word United. It's weird.
Oh yeah, so obviously my family is half Sheffield United, half Sheffield Wednesday. So, but it's so much different when you're playing for them. So much different. Obviously, I grew up on the red side. Everyone knows that. But anyone asks, I just say, yeah. Like, as a kid, I supported Sheffield United, but as soon as you put that shirt on, it's different. It's real. I do everything for the club. To be honest, everywhere I go, I always try and do everything for the shirt. So
we know that. We know that. Yeah. Go on then, Dave.
Sorry, Lee. When I told my son and his partner Holly that I was going to be talking to you tonight. They said to me, Dad, please ask Lee what was his favourite Millwall away game and how did it feel when we scored the winner against Leeds in that crazy 4-3 game.
Right. So, my favourite away game, does that count Wembley or is that just...
Any away game,
Wembley counts.
Yeah.
So, for me, Wembley is one of the best days of my life ever, like, in football. It was unreal. And it was like... It was so good on the pitch. I was like, when we scored the goal, I'm not going to lie, I was like close to tears with joy. Honestly, it was so good. Because I think from the previous year as well, it meant more. We should have gone up. We should have gone up the previous year automatically. We just missed out on that, and then obviously we lost at Wembley in the final, and then the year after, it just made it that much sweeter.
Lee, just a personal question at that point. Was the header meant for Morrison, or was you going for goal?
Do you want the truth, or do you want me to just tell you what you want to know?
Give us the truthful answer, come on.
The truth is, I have no idea. I can't remember. All I remember is the ball hit my head, and I just tried to head it somewhere towards goal. No, it wasn't initially. It wasn't. I never knew Steve was there. It was just a reaction. Ball come to me there, I just headed it and Morrow's obviously does what he does best and he sticks it in. So
wonderful.
I think we deserved it anyway.
Yeah, you did.
You obviously claimed an assist with that one anyway.
Of course I did, yeah. Of course I did.
Poor old Willow.
What was your other question? The Leeds. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What a game. Because obviously I'm like Millwall. I don't like Leeds. Sheffield don't like Leeds. So to go, what was we? Was we two?
Well, you don't like them, Lee, but we hate them. Anyway.
Yeah.
2-0 up at half time and they come back to 3-2, I think.
Yeah. They were they allowed to 10 men as well? Or was that us?
No, that was at our ground, wasn't it?
No,
that was at our ground, wasn't it?
They went down to 10 men, didn't they?
They went down to 10 men in the game, didn't they? Sure they did.
Yeah, and then they went in front, and then wasn't it?
And then obviously Tom Elliott come on scored, and then
Tom Elliott, yeah.
And then Jed scored at the end. Yeah, that was crazy. Do you know what as well? I've got a story about it. So literally, because I always give away fans some, always, because they always seem to give me some, so I always give some back. So I'm giving the fans.
Wait till Sheffield Wednesday come down to Millwall, Lee.
Yeah, I know. I'm not saying nothing. No, so like, I was giving some of the fans some, and they were giving me some. And then after the game, I had my father-in-law and my friend waiting for me outside the ground to take me home. So I come out of the ground, and I was like, "Oh, Dane, where's the car?" He's like, "Oh, she's literally just around the corner." So we go through the police, up the steps, we go left, start walking down the street. There's a Leeds pub on the right outside the ground. And I've obviously got my Millwall tracksuit on. I'm going, oh, God, here we go. Just get behind me. So just get behind me. So I'm literally right behind him, walking to the car. The car's in the car park there. But we have to go through another car park first to get to it. So we get into the car park. And as I get into the car park, this minibus comes screeching around the corner and pulls up right in front of me. And all these fans start getting off. And I'm going, oh, man, no, here we go. My mate's going, right, looks like we're going to be fighting. We're going to be fighting. It's a fact. We got off the bus. They're all like shouting, Leeds, Leeds. Walk straight past me and start pissing in the bush. Shit. So, yeah, that was funny.
I thought you was going to say the Scunthorpe playoff games, the second leg. After the game there, that game was another game.
That was unbelievable, but nothing will top Wembley for me.
Yeah.
Well, my question, Lee, was going to be what was your most memorable game, but you've answered that one, so we move on.
Yeah. Another one though, what is really up there as well was the year we didn't go up, but we beat Bradford.
The away game in the playoff.
No, the away game was really good, but the home game was.
Oh right, yeah.
The atmosphere in there that's the best I've ever experienced, ever. We was 1-0 up. Obviously, we was going through to the final. Fans was on the pitch. It was like 15 minutes left. It wasn't even the last minutes. The fans was on the pitch, like trying to kick the ball. It was nuts. It was nuts. Yeah, that's up there as well with one of the best games.
Well, what I was going to ask you, Lee, and be careful, because as much as my friend Claire loves you, Pat loves this guy. What was your relationship with your strike partner, Steve Morrison? Because if ever there was a partnership that seemed to click from the word go, to me, that we've had down at the Den, it was you two. You seem to be on the same page all the time. And so what's he like, Mr. Morrison, who obviously now is a manager at Cardiff, which surprised a few of us. But
I texted him, I said, congratulations and stuff. I was like, do you want me to get a house in Cardiff or not? And he was like, no, thank you. No problem. What a guy. What a guy. He was miserable gay, innit? Miserable gay.
Yeah. Yes, yeah.
No, he was class. And me and him, we didn't know what it was, because we wasn't like the best of friends out of football. We didn't hate each other. We weren't that like. We got on, but we weren't like we weren't like together all the time. But the moment we got on the pitch, I knew what he was going to do, and he knew what I was going to do, and that was it. Just it was
how
weird.
Did he compare to Jamie Vardy?
Well, Vardy's just different. You just kick the ball over the top, you run on and score. That was all we used to do in Halifax. Right, what we'll do, Vardy, you stay up. We'll get the ball, we'll knock it over the top, you run and score. Yeah, no problem. That was it.
Pretty simple.
Pretty simple.
But Steve was a leader, wasn't he, in the changing room?
Everyone listened to him. Everyone just kind of, if there was any problems on a training ground, whatever, it was always like, Morrow, you saw it, or Morrow sorted it before even anyone asked, to be honest. So
So I take it from that then, Lou, you're not surprised that he's become a manager, although it's happened.
No, you knew it was coming. You knew it was coming. I won't be surprised if he'll be down the Den soon.
I hope so.
Oh yeah, there we go. We've got all the flutter again now. Look.
Obviously, it works with Neil Harris, and so I think he gets some experience. I think he will be down there.
Yeah, I mean,
Pat, you'd have to change your season ticket seat, wouldn't you, next to the dugout?
No, the injunction's still valid. For two seasons, you and Morrow were the highest scoring duo in all leagues. I mean, I love telling people that when they sort of go on about Sheringham and Cascarino. That's the main thing for me, that the two of you worked. I mean, Morrow has spoken about when he was playing with Harris, they used to have a competition because both of them wanted to score, not do the assist, but actually score the goal. Was that similar to you two, or was that different?
No, Morrow wanted to get the assist all the time. He must come in like of age where you become like, I want to get the assist, or he probably just realised I'm going to score more than him, so he's just going to stick with it. I don't know, but no, it was. To be honest, we went on the pitch. We was like, I don't care who scores as long as we win the game. One of us were going to score. It was like, I don't care who it is as long as we win the game. So
we matured a bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I got a couple of questions. That atmosphere at the Scunthorpe game, what was that like though? I know you've mentioned it earlier, but was the Scunthorpe game a bit special as well?
Yeah, that was every game I think of. Especially these sort of games, I just think it was actually nuts. Looking back, it was nuts. Like, the fans are nuts. Absolutely nuts. And you realise that when you go to different clubs, and you don't feel what you did when you play there. It's different, and obviously when you're in there and you're doing well, it's the best in the world. Well, it's the best what I've experienced. I just can't say best in the world because I've not experienced.
But don't you think that's the players as well? I mean, you all seem so together for those years. You just seemed a really good unit.
It's because we knew we wasn't the best team. We wasn't the most technically best players in the league. So we knew we had to be like, if we wasn't together, we'd be in the bottom three, and that's what got us through. Some of our best times was down at the training ground. We just used to like piss about so much, but there was that much fun and joy there. When it went serious, we knew what we had to do. It weren't like it was just a jolly up all the time. We used to just have a laugh, have fun, and then as soon as we'd basically the game come, we'd switch on and be like, all right, let's go. And then even when we were winning the games, we'd start having a laugh and a joke. If we're like 2-3 up in a game, we'd be laughing and joking, but then we're 1-0 down. We're basically slagging each other off.
Who did you room with on away games, Lee?
It was at first it was Beeves, and then Webby, and then Sean Williams.
Oh yeah, Webby's the old other northerner, isn't he?
Yeah.
It wasn't Morrow then.
No.
Morrow had his own place. He had his own one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was always on his own.
He was on his own.
And go on then, Lee. And what was your favourite goal? What was the one you thought, oh, I'd like to do that again one day?
For Millwall?
Yeah, and then maybe for anyone else.
Oh, always my debut goal. That always sticks out. But one game is where I'd love to go back and do it is the first leg at Bradford when we were 1-0 down.
Yeah.
And it was the first leg in the playoffs. 1-0 down. I think they'd literally just scored, literally 30 seconds before. And when it comes to goals, I always remember away fans, what they're like. And I can literally hear them going, Greg, you're this, you're that, you're that. Next minute I score and I'm just like, okay, be quiet now, please. And and it always makes it better when the other players can hear what's happening. Because I'm from Sheffield, I'm up north, the Bradford fans, and I kind of snub Bradford when I will go to Millwall. They was interesting as well, so I don't want to go Bradford, I want to go Millwall. So obviously they've got a bit of hatred towards me as well. So obviously they were just slagging me off the whole time, and as soon as I scored that, they were just quiet. So I always remember that.
Yeah, and when you look at those games as well, from the Bradford game when we beat them in the next year as well, that could have been us. That could have been Millwall. You look at what the two teams have done. Bradford now sitting in the second division. We're happily placed in the Championship. You know what I mean? It's just how things work out.
Do you know what? I think your chairman's too good. Your chairman's brilliant. He's absolutely brilliant. And, he wouldn't. Well,
he wouldn't let it happen.
No, he wouldn't. No. Like, obviously, we lost against Barnsley. It could have gone tits up the other way then. But no, he's too good for that.
Fair enough.
Talking about the Wembley games, Lee, did you have any chances at Wembley to score? I can't remember.
Oh, yeah, thanks for reminding me. But I have one shot.
One shot. Oh dear!
But tell you what, I'll use the header as a shot, but really it was like.
Listen, that was the greatest touch of all. Yeah. Without that, mate, we wouldn't have made it through. But
thing is, though, I was crying when Jed went through and missed. That was heartbreaking because when you turned about 3 players on the halfway line, hadn't you, Lee?
No, I know.
Yeah,
take that up with Jed. Take it up with Jed.
Indeed. So you said earlier you still talk to people, so obviously you still follow the results. Do you still obviously watch what's going on?
Millwall's the first. As soon as I get back into the dressing room, Millwall's the first team I look on Sky Sports.
Excellent.
I still speak to Jed, Ben Thompson. I played against Sean Williams and Marlon Romeo the other day. Spoke to them for a bit.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So is Shawnee playing? I haven't really looked out for that. Is Shawnee still playing for Portsmouth quite a lot then?
Yeah.
Good to hear.
Yeah.
Good to hear. Yeah. Well, we were going to ask you for a prediction for Swansea, but as we know, that's now gone by the way. I'll ask you about Coventry for next Is it Wednesday, Tuesday or Wednesday? Week after.
Let me see.
Do you play Tuesday? Yeah. I think we play Thursday, I think.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because Sunderland play on Monday, so we are going to play them on Thursday instead.
Okay. Yeah, we've got Coventry next week, so what do you think?
Millwall at home or at Coventry?
No, at Coventry.
I'm going to go 1-0, Jed Wallace.
Oh. Could that be a parting goal? Do
you think he's going?
Or do you know more than us?
No. This is what I'm asking. I don't know.
No, you think he's moving in January?
He's going nowhere till the end of the season. If
I
it
hope not.
at all.
Unless someone gives the chairman 25 million, he's going nowhere.
Yeah.
When we really like someone, Lee, we don't let them leave.
No.
No, listen, mate, honestly.
We give them player of the year and then they go.
No, yeah.
Who does that? Who really does that? Come on.
No, I've got to tell you, Lee.
I spoke to Jed when I was leaving Stoke. Well, when Stoke said, they want me to go, I was like, Jed, get me back down there, please.
Oh, man.
Get a blow to the manager and get me back down there.
I would have loved you back.
We'd have loved you back. Listen, mate, you're an honourable Cockney. Honorary Cockney, I think you are now, mate. We forget about your Sheffield business and all that. I mean, you mean more down here than you do up there.
Oh, no. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. Lee, it's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you. And to be honest, I'm going to say something now, and I mentioned this to Eamon earlier. I was actually a little bit nervous about speaking to you today because you are my modern of the day, one of my heroes in a Millwall shirt. So it's been a pleasure to talk to you.
Such a fanboy.
The time you were at Millwall was a great yo-yo period, and we never had enough time to talk about all that. So we definitely get you back on again. Have a great season with Sheffield Wednesday.
Get them up, League, so we can see you back down at Den.
Definitely.
I'm trying. I'd love to be back down there.
How many you scored for him, Lee? You scored many for him?
Yeah, 8 goals, 4 assists.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well done.
But when you come back down at Den, Lee, and if you do score, be very careful what you do.
We have a Millwall shirt on the knees.
Brilliant. Lee, absolute thank you, and thank you so much. Take care, and goodbye from all of us.
Have a lovely Christmas, Lee.
Merry Christmas, Lee. Cheers, mate.
All the best, Lee.
Bye-bye.
Cheers, guys.
Hi, Debbie here. Thank you to all our listeners of the Millwall Fan Show. What a great family. So proud to be part of the No One Likes Us talking team. Also the launch of Kick and Cook, the recipes on the Millwall Community Trust website. All the good work of the Millwall Community Trust is just outstanding, along with the Proper Blokes Club and all the good work surrounding Millwall. My dad would be surprised and proud that I am part of the Millwall family. A Merry Christmas to you all and a very Happy New Year. Keep on roaring.
We'll take a break there and listen to Bethany Warren and an ongoing Millwall Community Trust initiative.
The Millwall Community Trust is offering children and youngsters aged 6 to 14 who play football the opportunity to attend their new Millwall Community Trust Player Performance Pathway. The Player Performance Pathway has been designed to create a clear route into the Millwall Academy for players with the required ability. The new pathway will also create a performance squad to represent Millwall Community Trust in the Junior Premier League for the 2022-23 season, as well as a development squad who will compete in showcase games over the course of the season. Trials are ongoing, so if you are interested, please email Tim Sells for a form and he will send a link back to you. Once completed, he will then contact you about upcoming trials. This is a fantastic opportunity for players who want to take their game to the next level. Email Tim on tsells@millwallcommunity.org.uk. That's tsells@millwallcommunity.org.uk.
Just want to wish everyone who listens to our podcast and all of the No One Likes Us Talking team, both monthly and weekly podcasts, a very Merry Christmas. Hoping the new year for some more fixtures on and for us to push on and make the playoffs. Come on, you Lions.
I'm Gary Staff, and I have with me the No One Likes Us Talking team of Dave Hart, Ted Robinson and Patricia Maslin. That is an ongoing programme, and the hope is that we will unearth the best talent that can be found for the benefit of both the Lionesses and the Lions Academy teams. Next up, we hear from the wonderful Ellis Barr.
Ellis here. Thank you for watching my videos. Now to hear what the Millwall Lionesses and Romans have been up to, and to hear who is next up for Gary Rowett and the Lions. Come on, Millwall!
The Millwall Romans and Pride had a free weekend, but sent this message over for us.
Hi, it's Paul from Millwall Romans FC. Just want to wish everybody a very, very Merry Christmas.
There was also no league action for the Lionesses either. With no show now until the 1st February and January, let's look at the other fixtures we play over the festive period and discuss what our expectations might be. So, we were due to face Swansea on Boxing Day. That's now been kiboshed by COVID. So, we face Coventry on Christmas Wednesday for a 7:45 kickoff at the CBS Arena. Hopefully we won't see a repeat of our end of season result there, and look to improve on the 1-1 draw at the Den when Tom Bradshaw was adjudged to have been offside. Never. When he scored the winner. Well, we thought he did. In the last 5, they've recorded 4 draws and a defeat. What are your thoughts, Dave?
Coventry is one of those places. It's hard to get a result there, but as Lee said, we're going to turn it around and finish the year with a bang, 2-0.
I'll take that. What do you think, Ted?
Coventry are a side that have impressed me over the last couple of years. Difficult side to beat, I think. Mark Robbins has got them playing some real good football, and they've got a couple of players that I would really love to see at the Den. Callum O'Hare being one of them. The guy whose name I can't pronounce, who's come from Sweden, I think, but he's a good goal scorer. It's going to be a tough game there. But listen, if I was Gary Rowett, I'll be reminding the boys of how poorly we played against them last year and how embarrassing it was. In actual fact, they actually embarrassed us in that game. And having seen them when we played against them, I'm not quite as confident as Dave, but I do think the Lions will win. I've got a feeling it's going to be a 2-1 victory to us. Goikers, that's the guy's name. That's the sort of guy that we need to find in January, who's a goal scorer that's come from nobody's heard of, if you know what I mean. I mean, it would be lovely to find another Lee Gregory, wouldn't it? But someone like that guy, I sort of dream of the day that Mill will get a foreign import like that from sort of nowhere that turns out to be the real deal. You know what I mean? We've had one or two that have not been the real deal, the best way I can put it. Yeah. But to find someone like him, a little gem, I think, who, can take the championship by storm a bit and score us 10, 15 goals between now and the end of the season, someone like him that will turn up like that in January would be wonderful.
We may already have him, Ted. He might be playing at Sutton at the moment.
Possibly. I'm always a little bit reserved with guys that we've sent out on loan to lower league opposition. Listen, I know we got Lee Gregory came in, but Lee Gregory was a little bit older than Olaf, and I'm not saying that Olaf ain't a good player, and I'm not saying he can't play for us and do something for us and that, but it's a big jump, and it will be a lot of expectation on young shoulders. At the moment, I think with him, I'd like to see him just stay at Sutton for the rest of this season, and let's see what he comes in at, like in the close season. A bit like Tyler Bury, who I understand is going back to Hartlepool for the last couple of games of his loan spell up until January. Maybe it might be best if he goes back there for the rest of the season, because they're learning in a decent standard of football that they're playing, and it's only good for them,
Yeah, and I know Phil Coleman always says that. Get them in lower league football, get them in first and second division football, toughen them up so they can step in.
Well, the reason just to follow with, how do you pronounce his name? Is it Olaf? Olafi. With Olafi, what I watch for, he's not a regular starter with Sutton. Quite often you see him on the bench. And I mean, if he all of a sudden for the latter part of this season is a regular, then I know that he's a bit like Alec Mitchell Orient, every time I look, he's in the team every time. You know, I quite expect that boy, when he comes back next year, if Daniel Ballard doesn't move from Arsenal, if he, goes back there, we got a ready-made replacement, I believe, in that Alex Mitchell to come in for Daniel Ballard. But he's playing week in, week out, Gal. That's the key to me. If Alafi can be playing week in, week out for Sutton towards the end of the season, then I might have some sort of expectations for him for next season.
Pat, what are your thoughts?
Well, I don't agree about Alafi. I think we should bring him back. I think we're fairly safe. I think we can afford to put people in for a few games to see how they play.
We're going for promotion, Pat.
Oh, God, can you imagine this lot going up under this manager?
They're there. They're still in it. They're in the mix. They've got a chance.
It'd be embarrassing.
They've got a chance. It doesn't matter.
Worse than what Norwich are at the moment.
But that doesn't mean you shouldn't give up on it. We've got the opportunity to get there. We're only 5 points off the playoffs. I said that to me at the start of the season. I said, lovely, because I know we normally come better second half.
It's so mediocre. We're only there because it's such a poor league this year.
Well, then take advantage of it.
Well, we should be, but we're not, are we?
No, but you're talking like bringing a youngster back and throwing him in because we've got nothing to play for. We have. We've got everything to play for.
I'm saying we're safe. We can afford to try these youngsters in the team now.
But I actually think with Bradshaw coming on a bit of form, Afobe seems to have found his feet a little bit. Jed obviously being around. We've still got Mason Bennett waiting in the wings. I think our forward line is just beginning to click. And if it clicks, I think we've got every chance in the world of getting in the playoffs.
And I heard today, didn't he, Tom Bradshaw's going to sign for another 2-3 year contract. Did I hear that today as well?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised with the way he's playing. He gets offered a new contract. He does. Listen, I've always liked him, Tom Bradshaw. All right, he hasn't scored the amount of goals.
But, come on. How many goals has he scored in his Millwall career?
Do you think injuries have got in the way of that, though, and not having a good run? He's finally getting a good run and he's scoring goals. Finally.
No, he started in 49 games for us. You've got a question.
I've always believed, Pat, and I've said this to you before, that I remember him playing for Barnsley and he looked a goal scorer playing for Barnsley. Now, for whatever reason, he hasn't really looked like it up until this last little spell where he's all of a sudden seems to get himself into the right place.
But didn't he have a partner at Barnsley, though?
They played a different style. And sometimes styles don't suit players. But what I like about Tom Bradley, and always liked, he gives 110% when he's out on the pitch.
I like Bradshaw. I does a lot the best for him. He's a Millwall player. It'd be better than spending like $5 million on a new striker if Bradshaw can do it. But I just think the whole team is so inconsistent and so mediocre at the moment.
I can't disagree with the inconsistency, Pat. You're right there. And I'll tell you, there's two guys waiting in the wings for me as well that could actually help our season spark if they could actually get themselves with what you say, Pat, consistently. And that is Conor Mahoney and Shea Oji. I've seen enough of what them two can do to say.
I don't think Mahoney will play for us again, to be honest.
Well, I don't know, but I'm going on what I've seen of what they are capable of. If we can get them to deliver that week in, week out, we could be a side to look out for.
Are you really saying you think Ojo is someone who could spark the team?
I agree with Ted, Pat.
He plays his ball and waits a couple of seconds before he chooses where to kick it. He's so slow.
Ojo has got quality, Pat. I'm telling you that now. He's got quality. In actual fact, there was a quality cross he put in for one of Tom Bradshaw's goals. The guy needs to find his form. He needs to find a bit of consistency. And I think Gary Rout's mentioned that somewhere along the line. But if he can play at a level that I think he's capable at consistently, if this guy was one of the top assists, this is what says to me that both of them have got it, because Mahoney was a top assist when he was at Bournemouth or Birmingham. Was it one or the other he was playing for? Birmingham. He came out with the top assist. OJ had the top assist when he was playing for Cardiff. So both of them have done it in a championship. They've just not really done it on a consistent level for Millwall. But if we can get them to do that, then we may well all of a sudden be a potent force going forward, as well as being a hard side to break down at the back.
Right, I agree.
This is Jeff Burnage, and I would just like to wish all our listeners a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thank you so much for your support over this past difficult 12 months. I also wish success to all the players who wear the Millwall shirt with pride, including the pros, the academy, the Lionesses and the Romans. Come on, you Lions.
We'll take a break there and we'll hear what Debbie and Harvey have to say about the Lions Food Hub.
First of all, let's hear from Harvey Brown.
Have you heard of the Lions Food Hub? It is now located in the Millwall Community Trust car park. That's beside Millwall's Den in Ballina Road. That Millwall Lioness, Kelly Webster, is involved. Don't forget to help the Lions Food Hub if you can. Thank you.
As Harvey said, they need support, and you can help if you can by making a one-off or a regular monetary donation online at Banquet, that is BANKUET, or on a Saturday you should make donations pre-match at the hub about 50 metres down from the Lions store. Alternatively, you can also contact the team via their Twitter and Facebook sites.
Hi, Phil Coleman here. Just a quick message to say many thanks for listening over the year and to wish all you Lions fans a Merry Christmas, and here's to a happy and healthy 2022. All the best.
I'm Gary Staff, and with me I have the No One Likes a Talking team of Dave Hart, Ted Robinson and Patricia and Maslin. Things are tight for families, as the MCT CEO Sean Daly explained on BBC Radio London last week, and any help with food or funds will be very welcome. On Sunday, January the 2nd, we travel to Ashton Gate to face Bristol City. We're only 3 points behind us in 18th place. As they say in this division, anyone can beat anyone. Last season, we ended their unbeaten run with a 1-0 away win, then lost badly to them in the FA Cup before recording a 4-1 victory toward the end of the season at the Den. In September, a poor City side came to the Den when we were unlucky not to see an avalanche of goals, but for the acrobatics of their keeper, who all but kept a clean sheet until a phobie was brought down in the box and Jed Wallace slotted home the penalty for all 3 points. Ted, what do you think about the Bristol City game coming up?
I had a funny side, Bristol City, didn't they? I thought under Nigel Pearson they'd have been a lot better this season, but they seem to struggle.
I thought so too.
They seem to struggle a bit at home, if I'm right. I think it's at home where they can't, or don't seem to do too much. And we were talking about inconsistencies a minute ago, but they're the most inconsistent side in the league, without a doubt. Listen, I would be hoping that a good performance, if we put one in there, would give us 3 points at Bristol City. We're more than capable of beating them. And hopefully, as it appears now, we might be on a 2 away game, if you know what I mean, after Coventry. A good performance at Coventry and getting a result. And hopefully we can back it up with an even better performance against Bristol City and take all 3 points, and that'll set us up very nicely for an FA Cup tie with Crystal Palace the following week.
Oh, can't wait for that one. Pat, over to you.
Yeah, I mean, what can you say? It depends what Millwall team turns up that day. It could be the team that beat Birmingham. It could be the team that went to Peterborough the other week. The same team, the same players, the same 11. I mean, completely different games. You can't predict what Millwall are going to do. I would hope they would win. Don't think they will. I think it's going to be a 1-0 loss.
You're such a Millwall fan, Pat.
I can't help it. I'm just, name me. How many games can you name that were memorable this year?
Well, it's not that. What I was going to say is I agree with you. It's very difficult predicting what Millwall's going to be, and that's Gary Rowett's problem. He picks a side that goes and plays like it does against Birmingham, so obviously you pick the same side for the following week, and it goes and put a performance in like that. A manager's job sometimes impossible.
Yeah, but buck stops with the manager. So, yeah, 1-0 loss.
Okay. Dave, can you shed some sunshine on this for us?
I don't think I can. Ashton Gate is one of those places where we're Jekyll and Hyde there. We get good results, we get bad results. I've seen some good wins there. I've seen some real poor losses there. So, and as Pat said, you don't know what team's going to turn up. When I went to Peterborough, absolutely awful. When we scored the goal early on, I thought this is going to be a nice game to watch, and they just fell apart. So it does depend on what team turns up on the day, how Gary Rowett motivates them enough, and how they come back after a layoff and possibly, well, hopefully, a good win away at Coventry, as Ted said. So we get 2 wins on the board, ready to move to the Palace game.
Well, what do you think, though, Dave? I mean, I'm just going to have a little chat about Rowett, if you don't mind, Gal, because you say if he motivates him enough, well, he said what he said against Birmingham, they come out and play like that, and I'm pretty sure he wouldn't have said much different to Peterborough, and they go and play like that. I think if I was the manager, I'd be speaking to each of them individually and say to them as footballers, you explain to me your 2 performances in the last 2 games. How can you be that good on that day and that bad on that day? Because I don't know what I can do to make sure that you're like that every week, like the Birmingham game. Because that's why I say sometimes footballers get an easy ride. If you put a performance in like you did against Peterborough, you should be explaining yourself to the manager. The manager shouldn't be asking you, or you should be explaining yourself, because it wasn't good enough. They know it wasn't good enough, and I'm sure Gary Rowett told them that it wasn't good enough. But what you need to do is work out why they played like that.
You're spot on there, Ted. The manager tells the team what to do. Once they get on the pitch, it's up to them to interpret what he said and do it. You know, if they don't, if they're not motivated enough in themselves to go and play, then they've got to look at themselves and make accounts back to the manager as to why they weren't so motivated for that game as they were for the other game. So,
but if it's not working, the manager makes substitutions. You don't leave it till near the end of the game. You can't blame the players. And the manager certainly should not come out and blame the players to the press and supporters. He should be backing them.
They're spot on there, Pat, but some of his substitutions are really questionable. You can't see the reason why as a fan, but he's the manager.
I think this Palace game is going to be touch and go for Rowett. Okay, if we lose, that'd be fine. But if the players come out and play like an old Millwall side, I think the fans will forgive him. But if we come out and play badly against Palace, I think
you're right, Pat. The Sheffield United game, I think that was the one that made us realise, hold on, does he really care about the FA Cup? That was the one. And I remember we had discussions about it at the time. But I just feel, I think if he knows Millwall now, he knows, and I think the players know, they would go out and give their 100% against Palace.
Gal, you know as well as I do, them players with us backing them on that day will not put a bad performance in. We might get beat, but we won't put a bad performance in against Palace. That goes for. But I'm sorry, Pat, I can't have what you say week in, week out. It seems like to you, Gary Rowett is on a game-by-game trial. And if one game goes bad,
if you
let's get rid of it.
If you heard the boos at Peterborough, you'd realise how the fans are feeling. We have got the lowest attendance this season from the last 5 years, and that includes when we nearly got relegated.
So what your answer to everything is, or even the people that booed, that one game against Peterborough, let's get rid of a guy who's got us within touching distance of the playoffs because we've had one bad performance.
But you can't.
It's ridiculous,
not me,
Pat.
It's those hundreds of fans there.
Well, they're all ridiculous then, in my opinion, because you get a manager in, and it's not only Millwall fans, it seems to be throughout football now. A manager, all right, he's only as good as his last game, as they say, but you can't keep sacking managers. What would you want? A situation like Watford, where they change their manager every week? It's
I think
ridiculous.
even the Birmingham fans said the other day, Ted, when they got rid of Gary Rowett, they were like, I think they were 4th or 5th in the league, and they wanted that who was it? Who took over it? Was it
Zola, Gianfranco Zola? And they
to
finished
push
up
on
just about
everything that we got.
surviving relegation.
Yeah.
After Rowett
So
had been there.
sometimes it's a case of be careful what you wish for, isn't it? Really.
Well, I'm not just saying this about Gary Rowett, because it does seem to be fans within football now. If my team lose 2 games on the spin, get rid of the manager. Well, that's a ridiculous attitude to have. You know, you've got to let the manager do his job over a length of time. And if we're looking at what Rowett's done over the first half of the season up to now, and we're 5 points away from the playoffs, and people are still asking for him to go, it baffles me. But Pat, it baffles me.
We went 10 games losing last season. Had fans been there at the Den, he wouldn't be here now. He was lucky there was no fans at the Den. He got out.
But Pat, I don't know what you want. What do you expect from a manager? Do you want us to have someone like Ian Holloway that took us down? What do you expect from a manager? Gary Rowett's kept us in the Championship. Any Millwall manager, in my opinion, his first thing to do in a season is keep Millwall in the Championship. To do that is an achievement.
So that's what we've got to look forward to every season, eh?
Well, what do you expect?
Stay mid-table.
What do you expect?
But what have we had? What games are memorable in the last 2 years? Who have we bought that's half decent in the past 2 years?
What's your solution,
We're not
Pat?
going game by game. We're going on his past.
What is your solution then? Get rid of Rowett. Who are you going to have in? Who are you going to bring in?
I don't know.
Well, there you go.
Who are we going to bring in? We should have got
who are you going to bring in that's going to do a better job than...
He's currently the 6th longest serving manager in the Championship as well, out of 24?
Yeah. And hold on, Morrow's still battling a relegation fight at the moment, and he's only had a few games. Let's see where he is at the end of the season before we say how good Morrow is.
Sit mid-table for the next 5 years, beating...
Well, I'd rather sit there than get relegated.
I'd
rather sit there than get... Do you want to go down?
There's no future, is there?
What future would there be going back down to League One? I think we've got a very good future. We've got a lot of good young players that
got relegated. We had some brilliant games near the bottom there, trying to stay up. I mean, whoever was at Sheffield United when we beat them at the end of the season, you want that feeling back.
You want that excitement back. That's what you're saying about fighting relegation.
Not just relegation. I want a really exciting game.
Well, hold on a minute. You might find ourselves fighting for the playoffs come the end of the season.
Yeah,
that's more of a possibility at the moment than it is of us fighting relegation.
I'm not saying we're going to fight relegation this year.
No, I'm saying that's where we are at the moment. We are more closer to the playoffs than we are to relegation. You want excitement. We might well have the excitement of playing.
You've got a team in 18 who's 3 points behind us. That shows you what the league is like.
I don't never look backwards. I'm looking forwards. I'm looking forwards to where we could be. If we can get onto a run like some teams have done, like Blackburn have done, if we can get on a decent run, we will be right in amongst it. And if we are there come April and May, happy days. I'm not sure what all these people that are booing at Peterborough are going to say about Rowett then.
Who of that squad can we take into the Premiership?
Well, right, so we just give up now and say we're not good enough, so we're staying.
The question: who in that squad could play in the Premiership?
Here we go then, Pat. I'll answer that question for you. Bart, Cooper, Hutchinson.
He's 34, Bart.
So that's young for a goalkeeper. It's young for a goalkeeper. Well, yeah.
Bart hasn't been brilliant this year.
But hold on, everyone's allowed a bit of a downturn. It ain't his fault that half these goals, if you look at half the goals, they're not probably 50-60% of them on his fault. It's been a bit of a chop change in front of him. Last 2 seasons, he's had security with Hutchinson and Cooper. That he hasn't hardly played any games behind them, in front of them, or behind them this season. Anyway, I'll go on. Scott Malone can step up again. I think he's definitely be
He's 30.
Yes, I do. So
Malone
it doesn't mean he's over the hill, does it?
Standard player.
Right. Anyway, Jed Wallace, midfield a bit different because we need to work on that.
Billy Mitchell would step up.
Billy Mitchell, definitely.
Danny
And
McNamara.
you've got Danny McNamara. The forward line, I think you'd have to work on. 100%.
But our youngsters in the Premiership.
Well, you never know. Pat, look, if Ivan Toney can step up and playing...
And I think they're definitely Championship standard.
Look, if Ivan Toney can step up from where he's been playing in the First Division, one season in the Championship, to then go and play in the Premiership, I think there's a few players who we should be giving a chance to. Definitely giving a chance to.
But the other side of it, Gal, is as we all know, it doesn't matter what happens or where you are. Come the end of a season, the team changes normally anyway. People come in and people go out. It might well mean that us going in the Premier League, that we do attract more quality players than, because by the nature of the fact we are in the Premier League. And, it's never the side that goes up from any division is never really the side that goes on from there. There's always players that come in at one or two changes, maybe. Or
it's an example, Ted. So, for example, we did get promoted this season. Crazy even if we did. People like Chris Wood, who's been at Burnley for 4 or 5 seasons, they might be looking for a change up there. You could grab someone like Steve Wood Chris Wood for a season, 2 seasons, who could give you that stability and that Premier League class. Well, you know what I mean?
And the other point is, Gal, is you look at the Brentford side that went up. Now, I don't think hardly, if any of them have played in the Premier League before they went up there.
No.
But they certainly ain't making a bad job of it. So you never know with players until you get there. All I do know is that these players that we've had in FA Cup ties, I know they're different, but they've beaten Premier League opposition on a few occasions at home.
Yep.
And I'm pretty sure if we was to go up, we'd make it very difficult for sides to beat us at the Den, because the Den would be full every game. Yeah. And we all know that when we go to a game when the crowd is there and the crowd is buzzing, as you heard like Lee's mate say earlier at the Bradford game, them players out there that may not be the quality of Premier League rise themselves above what they generally are and play at that sort of level. So it's all ifs and buts. But all I'm trying to say to you, Pat, is that at this moment in time, it's like you've given up on the season already. And let's just drift away.
My club, I'm just not enjoying the football.
Yeah, well, you have to be careful what you say about that. I remember a Charlton fan saying that to me about Curbishley when they were 7th in the Premier League. Where are they now?
Yeah, exactly. Right, guys, that's been fun and absolutely brilliant.
Eamon here, just to say to everyone that listens to the show, thanks for being here and have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And a big thanks to all of those that came onto the show, fans and players alike. Enjoy the festive period.
We'll take a break there and we'll listen to what the Fantastic Fanatics can do for our club.
Hi, I'm Richard Gordon, and I'd like to invite you to become a Fantastic Fanatic. Fantastic Fanatics is a great way to raise funds for your sports club. Sign up today, find your club, and securely register your everyday debit and credit cards. Every time you spend with our retail partners, they pay a percentage back to your club. It costs you nothing, and you can win cash prizes along the way. Visit fantasticfanatics.com and help your club be the best it can be.
I'm Gary Staff, and with me I have the No One Likes Us Talking team of Dave Hart, Ted Robinson and Patricia Maslin. Spending in the online January sales, why not spend through the Fantastic Fanatics website and bring some benefit to the work of the Millwall Community Trust? People continue to lose their lives to the dreadful disease and as a consequence of suffering from it. As deaths continue and infections are rising so quickly, high numbers are being hospitalised too. Our thoughts go to their families, friends and those who take care of them. Additionally, respect the requirements of transport and other locations in reducing risk of infection to minimise the possibility of further lockdowns. Also, be accepting of the preference of individuals in how they protect themselves.
First off, what about sponsoring a player? Enjoying a great Executive Land VIP package with family and or friends, or just getting behind the club in a number of different ways that include business propositions from advertising to sponsorship. Just contact the lovely Andrew Stead or Marcia Wood in the commercial department to find out more. The Lion Roars magazine has not hit the streets yet. Editor-in-Chief Aisha Smith is back and will let you know when the magazine will appear. Good night.
With no show next week, Henry returns for the show on Friday, the 7th of January at 8 p.m. to host another panel of surprises. From surprises to life changers, the Proper Blokes Club continue to amass an incredible following, and their walks take on some fantastic strolls. This last week, their leader, Scott Johnson, covered the following grounds: Palace, Sutton, Wimbledon, Brentford, Fulham, QPR, Chelsea and Arsenal, in breaking the stigma of men's mental health. The walk and talk groups, of which there are a good few, leave from familiar locations. Just check out the Proper Blokes Club on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram for arrangements. This is amongst a number of initiatives applauded by former Lion Phil Coleman. And that's good night from me.
Don't forget, player sponsorship for the Lionesses is available this season. Why not share the burden between a few of you or even a couple of companies? If you can give them some added support, you can find details on their website. Just put Millwall Lionesses into your browser and you'll find them easily enough. Lastly, the Lionesses are still recruiting at the moment, and in particular at under 18s. They are, Pat. If anyone is interested in coming down to St Paul's, Salter Road, Rotherhithe, please email recruitment@millwall-lionesses.com. I will repeat that, recruitment@millwall-lionesses.com, or direct message either their Twitter account or Instagram account, Millwall_LFC. And don't forget Millwall Romans and Pride need you too. Go along on Wednesday nights at 7:30 p.m. to St Paul's Sports Ground and introduce yourself to player-stroke manager Paul Loding to find out about joining them. And it's a Merry Christmas from me.
Don't forget, you'll be able to listen to the No One Likes a Talking team, bring reports from our games both home and away, and updates on Millwall community matters too on Maritime Radio, broadcasting on 96.5 FM. Also, why not listen to the fourth of the new Millwall No One Likes Us Talking monthly podcast featuring former player Phil Coleman. Links are on our Instagram, Facebook, Tumblr and Twitter social media sites and all popular podcast sites. That's it from me. Thanks Dave, Ted and Pat. Finally, let's not forget to keep it safe on the streets out there. And as always, I wish you a very Merry Christmas and a healthy and a happy New Year. Good night.